Hello, and welcome to my first ever audio log, which is not a thing I'm sure people do, but basically think vlog, but without all of that pesky screen time. I very much enjoy the idea of making vlogs, but whenever I make one, I'm never usually happy with how it turns out in terms of visuals, which is a really silly way of saying I have low self-esteem, I guess. But hey, I really like making audio content, so might as well do that. I'm currently walking to work. Every Sunday morning I have a really stupid short shift at my job, which I love so much, and you figure, hey, might as well try and make some content out of a walk there, because why not? So yeah, the idea for this is, you just kind of plop this video on, maybe go do some chores or play a video game that doesn't require too much brain effort. I'm personally a huge fan of audio content. I'm slightly concerned that I've chosen to do this on a very windy morning, and I did actually attempt to do this exact thing once, like 5 years ago, and had to bin it because you could hardly hear me over the wind. But they're not all going to be recorded while I'm walking to work. At the minute, where I'm at my life, it's probably the most likely place that I'm going to record these things, but it doesn't have to be. If I sound slightly strained, it's because I've done something to my back. I don't usually have problems with my back, but yesterday I made the so subtle mistake of leaning over to give my cat belly rubs for an extended period of time, which I thought my body was more than capable of doing, but as it turns out, I was constructed of rickety old skeleton parts. I think my body is actually sensing the approaching 30s and deciding to throw in the towel already, because, my foot hurt yesterday, my hip hurt the day before that, and my other hip hurt the day before that, so yeah, it's all fun, isn't it? It's the kind of back pain, not to harp on too much about it, where I can kind of bend over and obviously walk and stuff like that, but breathing's a mistake every time. Shouldn't do it. I want to keep these audio logs relatively short for now, and I also want to base them on a particular topic I have in mind. This one's slightly more general because it's the first one. It's kind of a proof of concept, but I do have something to talk about. My main concern is, the first thing that springs to mind is that episode of Futurama where they go to the crab planet that Dr. Zoidberg's from, and there's that, I suppose, kind of tired trope of the woman who wants to talk about her day, and she's like, I got up and I had a piece of toast, and then I did this, and he's like, oh god, what have I done? I don't want this to be that, but the general idea is I'm not going to use these things to talk about, like, what's coming up in video game news, because God knows I talk about video games enough, right? I can just do that in a weekly waypoint. I've got the Thoughts On series to talk about my thoughts on shows and stuff like that, specific things. But for general rambles about life, I've got whatever I'm calling this. Oh, shouldn't have breathed in. I was considering calling this Kristian Needs Therapy. Because I'm sure mental health is going to come up at some point, right? Probably a few times. But I've already kind of gone through my head of topics I want to talk about, and there's some dark stuff in there. But I don't want people to view this as trauma dumping, the podcast. And also, I don't want to be out of business when I actually do someday finally secure some sort of therapy. Honestly, I'll probably just search YouTube later for audio log, and on the odd event that no one's using it, I might just fucking call this audio log, which is perhaps the most exciting name in the entire world, I know. Anyway, I want to talk about the fact that yesterday, day before, also I don't know when I'm publishing this, I went out to see Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and I'm not going to talk about the film specifically because that would be a thoughts on. I want to talk about my lovely day out. You see, since the pandemic started and all that fun stuff, I've kind of hermited it up because, apart from going to work, of course, because my reasoning is I don't need social interactivity, actually meeting friends face to face as much, because I'm constantly playing video games with them over Discord, and while I do miss them, it's like, very much an introvert. I very much can get by with my own company, so I took the stance of anything I can do to I guess, stop the spread of all of this horrible COVID stuff, do that. It's no big deal, right? You're not going out to see your friends for like 2 years, right? Only I think people are starting to look at me like I have some kind of weird issues thing going on about it. And not that I really want... Oh god, this hill hurts my back. Jeez, not that I ever want to live my life according to other people's expectations, but also, like, my friends miss me, and I miss my friends, and I should have nice things every now and again. So yeah, fuck it, I went to town and I watched Doctor Strange with them. And having not been anywhere except within walking distance in the last 2 years, I was a little concerned that I would feel like a fish out of water. Oh, sorry if I sound a bit mustering now. At the minute, every clip is ending with me pausing, breathing in and going, oh god. Starting to think I should probably have taken some painkillers, but hey, I mean, if we need an example of how I don't do things the logical way but do things the stubborn way instead, here's a good one. So anyway, I arrive in town and I'm expecting to feel, oh my god, so many cars, expecting to feel like a fish out of water, but instead I feel like this overwhelming feeling of like liberation and like, it's the world. Hello world, it's good to be back, And I've always maintained this belief that the more social of a person I am, in terms of going out and seeing friends, the more confident I then feel in my abilities to, approach life the way any other regular, sane human person would. Not just in regards to socialising, but other ways too. Also, let's continue this conversation when I'm done with this hill and away from the main busy road. Oh man, I'm sitting in a bus stop so I can catch my breath properly, because this sucks. Because every time I breathe in, it hurts, and then I gasp, and then I knock the breath out of me again. I really do sound like some sort of 70-year-old right now. My current plans when I get into work is to find a slice of bread, stuff it in me, then take some ibuprofen. Because damn, this isn't going as well as I thought it would. Anyway, got into town, saw my friends, had a lovely old time, reminded myself I'm a human being who can do things like go to town and see friends and, not, turn into an explosion of fairy dust or something weird. Didn't really have an example lined up there, not gonna lie. We had some food. It was good food. I had pizza fries, which is basically when they give you a whole bunch of chips and then just melt a whole bunch of cheese and slap some bacon on there, which seems like a very simple student-y meal, and I like to pretend I'm still a student sometimes, I guess. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I thought Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was a really good film. I had heard some people give it a 6 out of 10, so I went in there with some trepidation, but those people, I don't value their opinion very much anymore, because that was a very good film. It wasn't amazing, wasn't perfect, but it was at least an 8 out of 10. Now, I would love to talk a little bit more about this and go into a little bit more detail, but as you can no doubt hear, talking has become painful, so don't worry about me. I ended up fine, otherwise I wouldn't have posted this. I'd be fucking dead, and you'd never have heard this, because people die from back pain all the time, right? Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this very first episode of Kristian's audio log thing, or Kristian Needs Therapy. Didn't know it was going to be back therapy when I started this, but here we are. Next time I will be in less pain. Also, I might include my first attempt at recording this intro at 1:30 at night last night, because there's some stuff in there I haven't talked about in this one. So, thank you for listening. I'll see you, or hear you, next time. That's not how that works. 6 hours earlier. Oh, my back. Oh, I shouldn't have leant forwards for it. Hello, and welcome to whatever this is. It's 1:30 in the morning. There's currently a raging storm outside, which kind of came out of nowhere. And next door have installed some new lights pointing towards their house, which keep randomly turning on and flooding my bedroom with light. I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning. It's currently 20 to 2. And I figured what better time than now to start a brand new show.